Down snapping, just going off on Pierre Poilievre. He's like a delusional lunatic in his statements at the Halifax retreat. But today, the clips I want to show you here on the second channel, be sure to subscribe here on my second channel, is the temporary foreign workers. Now Mark Miller and Justin Trudeau have said they're going to now be reducing some of those temporary foreign workers, but the low income ones. This has a bunch of these people in absolute outrage. There's hundreds of them that are starting to protest in basically every city across Canada, with basically all of them being from India. They're demanding they have fair rights, and they have, well, rights they don't have. And they're creating a big ruckus. So let's jump into it.
What they're worried about.
Oh, thanks for having me, Faiza. So they are protesting. The protest is happening coast to coast, from PEI to Ontario to Manitoba and British Columbia. International students who came here chasing a Canadian dreams and a new life are being forced to leave this country, their dreams cut short.
I mean, we don't have space. And when it came down to it, immigrants who came in before, they had to come with a lot of money, I think it was a full year worth of money to support themselves, as well as skills. A lot of these people were just trying to get in the door so they can work at Tim Hortons or whatever. Like, that doesn't really help our economy at all. And with that story, we've got this Harrison Faulkner of True North. He found a bunch of these people protesting outside of a building here.
We boycott fake media! We boycott fake media! We boycott fake media! Listen. They are not even media channels. They are bloggers. They are YouTubers. No, we boycott fake YouTubers or so-called YouTubers. So
basically, there's another video I'm not going to show you, but these guys start calling, they first call them Rebel News, and then they tell them they're True North, and they just say, oh, you're YouTubers, you're not real media, you're a bunch of R-word people, and they tell them to leave the country. Anyways, this is the section that happens after that.
Or racist YouTubers. You can say any, you can choose any word.
Apparently there are word YouTubers. That's what True North is, I guess, according to these guys. So we got some more clips here of this. It's getting ridiculous.
Does anybody have any examples of work? Any work that you believe was wrongly graded? We just asked these protesters if they have any examples of work which they feel has been wrongly graded by Acumen College professors and teachers, to show Canadians that actually it is true. They have been wrongly graded, they have been wrongly failed. We want to show that what they're saying is true. We're just asking if anybody has any examples of work that they'd be willing to show us, and nobody is willing to speak with us, unfortunately.
So this is one of those diploma mills, and these guys have all failed their classes, and now they're complaining want to stay in Canada. It's time to go home, guys.
So I guess we'll never know, actually, if these students were wrongly graded, or maybe if the professors were right to fail them. Who knows? We don't know. Do they deserve to pass? Is there an argument to be had? What makes you believe you were wrongly failed?
True North! Racist media!
Sir, what makes us racist media?
True North!
Parenthood is a journey.
Go home. This is disgraceful.
What makes you believe that you've been wrongly failed by the professors? Is there any example we can show to Canadians that it is indeed true that you have been wrongly failed? So we can show people that you have a case here?
They got nothing. True North, shame. It's time to go home, guys. Enough's enough.
Racist media!
In many cases, many of these students are victims in a fraudulent system, in a system that tricks these students into thinking that they're going to receive an excellent education. I bet you they're told some of them are going to end up on Bay Street. We all know that is not the case here. We all know that these schools, along with the government, along with all the other players in this system, are making money off these students. So it's important that this coverage is balanced. It's important to recognize that many of these students are indeed victims of a system that is there to get money from them. But
yeah, I mean, those schools need to be shut down. They're just diploma mills that are squeezing money out of these people.
Also, that doesn't mean you get to show up at a college and not do any work, even if the system is rigged against you. That's the situation we're seeing right now.
Guys, they failed their classes. It's time for them to go home, and it's time to, investigate some of these diploma mills and see all of them and find out which ones are garbage and need to go and which ones are actually legit. We got this post here. It says City of Calgary is now advertising the Mirrabandak's native language instead of English. I guess I don't need to follow these rules because I don't speak whatever this is. Isn't this illegal? as far as I know, at least in Vancouver, this was a problem in Vancouver. You had a lot of people come over from Hong Kong and then eventually mainland China, and you had some signs. Often it's food signs or whatever, but all in Chinese, no English, which is against the law. You have to have English at least on the sign. And so I don't know what is going on here because it's the exact same thing. The only thing you can read here is calgary.ca/save water. Next up, we got this clip here, which is very interesting. It talks about self-defense in Canada. I was just mentioning this the other day, and here we go. We got a clip that basically kind of sums it up.
What does the law say about self-defense in Canada? When are Canadians permitted to use force to defend themselves?
Right. Well, in Canada, we have the right to defend ourselves, our loved ones. We have the right to defend our property, but it's solely for the purpose of defense, defending yourself. You have to be reasonable. So a judge...
Wait a minute, what's reasonable?
What's reasonable is...
Someone breaks into your home in the night.
Right. Well, if it's a bunch of teenagers who break into your home, they don't have any weapons, and you go after them with a golf club, that's no longer reasonable. You're now using excessive force against those teenagers.
But how are you supposed to know that they don't have any weapons?
You don't. Oftentimes, you don't. And you're right. It's a very difficult situation. But you have to remember, at some point, a judge is going to scrutinize your behavior and what you did. And, some of the questions a judge is going to ask, for example, what was the nature of the threat or force? How imminent was the threat? Did you have other options? Did you have to go at the person with a baseball bat or a golf club in that scenario? They will look at what other options were open to you. Right. So it's very important to keep that in mind.
These rules he's talking about, these laws, they're almost as nebulous as the ones on YouTube here, trying to figure out exactly what I can and can't say. We need a rule book that basically says if, say, one of these newcomer migrants comes kicking in the door and wants the keys to your car, then what is reasonable to fight back? Is a baseball bat, a golf club? What is it? If they're holding you up with a pew-pew, can you pull out grandpa's shotgun and is that reasonable? Is that excessive? This should be very clear in the law. There shouldn't be any question. So this is the real problem we have in Canada because our laws they're stupid. Canada protects criminals' rights to break in and loot your home property unopposed, provided he or she does not become violent. Give police little more than lip service to finding the offender unless you get M-word taken out, perished. Ponder that in the dark with seconds to react. Exactly. I mean, I like the laws in America a lot better with this. If somebody comes crashing through your door, you're allowed to go full bore on them. You can grab whatever you want. You're allowed to defend yourself with whatever force necessary. In Canada, you have to let them come in and eat dinner and let them take all your stuff first, and then you can only gently try to nudge them out the door. Jumping over to my group, let's check out some memes. Trudeaunomics. I piss away money that does not belong to me. I spend your money like it is mine. 10.5 million to convicted M-word Omar Kadar. 14.25 million to Indonesia, 23 million to Islamic Relief, 25 million taxpayer dollars, UNRWA, 31 million to idiots who traveled to Syria, 33 million to Afghanistan vets, 50 million to Palestinian Authority, 119 million to Somalia, Sudan, Nigeria, Yemen, 300 million to Rohingya, 3.8 billion to fund girls' education overseas, 840,000 to Syria. I mean, this is what I'm talking about. Like, look how much money. This doesn't even have the other stuff, the McKinsey's, the Arrive scams, all that stuff. All while forcing vets to fight courts, this traitor pissed away $34.27 billion in a little over 2 years. All of it from your pockets. 30,000 Canadians plus or minus are without a place to sleep every night. Canada cannot afford this traitor. This is well said. Look out, Dylan. There's a new clown in town. Little Potato approved. Spotlight Circus Edition. If anyone's not aware, so Justin Trudeau's name, he was given a little, like a nickname in Chinese, which means little potato. It's just the mixing it up with Jagmeet and the whole potato apple thing. It's just, you can't make this stuff up. Include slider. Climate change starter pack.